Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Belly to Belly. And today we're joined by great friend Greg Kozera from Shale Crescent USA. Welcome, Greg.
Good to be with you, Bill. Belly to belly. I love that.
We were just talking about networking. This is what it's all about. So
what a deal.
Yeah. So our audience are all companies that are, either coming to SelectUSA or certainly interested in entering the U.S. and expanding. And obviously today our topic is around SelectUSA. But, before we hop into that, it would be great to hear a little bit about Shale Crescent and maybe specifically what you do to support international companies coming in into the region.
Sure. We're an economic development, marketing, and research organization. We're nonprofit. We are formed by a group of business and community leaders in Marietta, Ohio, and Parkersburg, West Virginia, in two different states. But they realized that our region, the three states of West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, had a huge natural gas reserve, and they also realized that nobody knew about us, and so they brought me on in 2016 to do the marketing, and we literally have marketed the region to the globe. Matter of fact, we were in Tokyo a few years ago, presented downtown at the Sumitomo building, but our message has gotten and we work with what's been interesting is what we learned early on is we were working with the petrochemical industry, Bill, and American companies, people like the household names that we see every day, were already vertically integrated on the Gulf Coast. They had their ethane crackers there and a lot of their infrastructure. So they really weren't interested in this region. And what we found is the companies that are interested are foreign companies, Asia, Europe, South America, because what we have in this region is really unique. Is we have a matter of fact, if you took these three states and made a country out of them, we would be the number 3 natural gas producer in the entire world. The U.S. without our three states is number 1 in natural gas production. Russia's number 2. We're number 3. We produce almost twice as much gas, those three little states, as the entire country of China. And here's new information that may help your listeners. Is we knew that we got a lot of gas, but they made, it was a press release, I guess last week, there are 3 that they call mega giant gas fields in the world, and these are gas fields that have over 300 trillion cubic feet of natural gas that's recoverable. One is between Qatar and Iran. The other 2, the Marcellus and the Utica, are both in our region. So can you imagine a region of 3 states that have 2 of the largest natural gas fields on the planet? We have enough gas to supply the world. I mean, that's how much we got. So if a company's energy intensive, what we're saying, come here, because you literally are on top of your energy and feedstock. And we're also in the middle of the largest economy in the world. We're within 500 miles of Atlanta, Boston, New York City, Detroit, Columbus, Indianapolis, Charlotte, that type of thing. So that's what we do. We do a lot of research, and that's some of our research numbers. So we do research and we give it away. We don't charge. We're there. If you come to the United States, if you're interested in our region, we're here to help you. And literally, if you're in Pittsburgh and are trying to figure out, geez, where do I get a nice dinner? Call me. I'll help you. I mean, and we help. We
not only great assistance with the energy requirements, but also a concierge service to help with good restaurants.
We really are, and it surprises some companies, but that's what we do. And it's but the biggest thing I think, and this really ties into SelectUSA, I think, is the networking piece. I mean, we were there in 19 live. Last year, I mean, we got plenty of information, but the real power of SelectUSA is networking, meeting people. And the thing is, be open to meeting someone. You never know. I was at a meeting here a couple of months ago, and one of the major chemical companies that I needed to meet. And the other thing is, when you go to SelectUSA, have some idea of maybe the companies you want to see, or the individuals or the organizations that can serve you, that you're looking for. When we go to a conference, we're looking for, if it's a chemical conference, who are the chemical companies we need to see? If we're going to a plastics conference, who are those manufacturers that we want to make sure that we meet and tell them about the region? So go with some targets, with some goals. And maybe it's karma. I don't know, but literally I've been to these things. The first conference we went to, one of my target, it had been a total dud, except for the last morning. I got on an elevator and one of my target companies was there. And in 90 seconds, when he left the elevator, went one way, I went the other, I had his business card and a meeting set up 2 weeks after the conference. And that helped us. I mean, that literally was one of the things that helped Shale Crescent to just jump. But if you go to that meeting, you don't know who's going to sit next to you. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and be open to networking opportunities, because that, I think, is where you're going to get a lot of benefit by such a large, diverse group of folks. I think it's a really big opportunity, and that's, maybe a thought to ponder.
Yeah. So, and that really leads into my next question, which was, so why does Shale Crescent participate in SelectUSA? Certainly, number one, it sounds like it's networking, but why else?
Well, what we know that the companies that are going to be the most interested in our region, as I said before, aren't U.S. companies that maybe are already here on the Gulf Coast. There are some that'll be here, and we've had some U.S. companies expand. But the real strength is those foreign companies that don't have an idea. I mean, I'm not well versed in, even when we went to Japan, I didn't know where everything was. I had a general idea. So, and matter of fact, we made the statement when we were in Tokyo that I said the same thing. If these 3 states were a country, and it was like on cue, Bill, I couldn't have done it it was, I just love those folks, but they literally grabbed their pens and it was in unison. Everybody started writing like crazy. And I couldn't have done any better if someone said, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, pick up your pen, because here's what I'm going to say." And afterwards, they all came up to us and they said, "We had no idea. We thought all the gas was in Texas and Oklahoma. We didn't know you guys had gas." So really our message, one of the reasons we come, is if you're energy intensive, if you're going to use energy, this is where you want to be, because you can literally build on top of the feedstock and the energy. And that's also where New York City, Boston, Detroit, Charlotte, Atlanta, we're within a 500-mile drive of those things. So that's why we go, is to help foreign companies understand that, when you look at the United States, here's, every region has its advantages. I mean, there's certain reasons why you want to be in Florida or, Texas. But if you're serious about energy, and if you're going to use natural gas, or if you're going to use natural gas liquids as part of your product, polyethylene, polypropylene, this is where you want to be. And, certainly if you're in the manufacturing business, what an opportunity where your resource and your raw materials are literally right there. And when you get done with your product, you can eliminate, by being in the United States versus, I'll just say Asia, for an example, your shipping distance. Because even if you're in Asia, you're getting your raw materials, your oil, your natural gas from at least 7,000 miles away. That's a cost. Being on top of the feedstock in the middle of customers, going from 20,000 plus miles of transportation to 500 is a huge competitive advantage. So that's why, we go, is to help people understand what our advantage is. And really, it's amazing how many other folks, even forgetting locations, people have different products, they have different services. And one of the things we do within our region, if someone needs something, maybe they're looking for, geez, I need to make this specialty chemical. I can't get it from overseas because of supply chain issues. Who can help me? I happen to know a guy in Pittsburgh that makes specialty chemicals. I'll connect you. Somebody came and said, "Well, I need someone I need a railroad siding built. I'm looking at this piece of property. I don't know who to get." We happen to have someone on our board of directors that runs a series of railroads. I mean, you name it. There's if someone needs something, where do I find my gas? Here's how I can help you. So
Perfect.
look at that. Look at those opportunities for services.
Yeah. So your energy is just totally infectious. But I have to hop in because we got to keep. No, you're great. So the last question, and I think this is, I think you've given some great insight already in terms of being prepared. You said, come, make sure you know who you want to meet. But are there other tips you would have in thinking about the companies coming to SelectUSA? Some already have some operations going in the U.S. They've visited several times. They have some familiarity. Others coming, with less familiarity, and maybe their first visit to the U.S. and SelectUSA. But I hear number one is be prepared. Make sure you know who you want to meet and why. What else might you suggest to these companies?
SelectUSA does. They have these networking opportunities, or they call them, it's almost like speed dating. And that opens up, I think it's the 9th of May. And you can begin to set up those meetings now. So get involved, work with the SelectUSA people, and they'll help you set up those meetings. And that's what we did the first time we ever went. We were late to the table getting that started. And I'm kicking myself because we really, when that opens up in May, you want to be working with those SelectUSA people that support you. If you're exhibiting, there's a whole group that does that, and they're wonderful folks. Get some of those meetings set up early on, so you already know that, I'm going to see A, B, and C and D companies, and they'll actually help you set up times and whatever. So get involved with that, because that's a great way to again, network, but it really gets you out there early on. So anything you can do preliminarily to be prepared. Make sure you've got something, if you get your handouts, whatever all those things that you want to have, make sure you've got all those details taken care of. Those little things will surprise you, but be ready for it. And, that's the best thing I can say is do your homework. Work with those speed dating folks. Make sure you've got that. And if you have any questions, call those folks. They'll help you. They've worked these conferences before, but the SelectUSA team is just awesome to work with. They really are.
Oh, that's so good. And yeah, I mean, I guess what I take away is preparation. Use the app in the SelectUSA team to preset meetings, and then have your handouts all set, and probably even make sure that they're clear for an American reader. Is probably a good bit of that as well.
But make sure on that they also have, make sure you fill out your information, so that, because they have a networking app. Make sure you get that. Make sure your information's downloaded. Put your photo on there. Yeah. Don't be shy about that, because if someone's looking for you, make sure that they, it's like, oh, I know what this guy looks like, or this lady looks like. I mean, so you take advantage of all the stuff that the SelectUSA folks have put out there.
Yeah. Oh, this has been great, Greg. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I can't wait to shake your hand when we get on the show floor and really help these companies coming in. And it's such a great joy to meet super resources like yourself.
Well, we appreciate you. Appreciate what you're doing, Bill. Getting people ready, because it's, you're only, for someone that's traveling from overseas, you're only here for a short period of time. So get plenty of sleep up front, guys. You're probably, if you're doing your job, you're probably not going to get a lot of sleep while you're here. You can sleep on the plane going back.
Yeah, and there's some fun night activities too. You want to rest up for sure.
Yes.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much, Greg. And we'll put your contact details in the description below, and certainly suggest our audience like and subscribe so they can stay in tune with all the great content we're putting out. So
thanks. And if there's anything we can help them with beforehand, reach out to me. We're happy to do that too.
Awesome.